Good personal assistance will greatly increase your independence. However, you may sometimes find that a worker is dishonest or even dangerous to you. You can take steps to protect yourself from these kinds of abuses. Here are some things that you should know. How to recognize various forms of abuse. How to prevent abuse before it happens. How to stop abuse if you are in an abusive situation. Abuse can take many forms. Your PA may intentionally hurt you or steal from you, but there are other, more subtle types of abuse that you should learn to recognize. Both obvious and subtle types of abuse can take the forms of physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental or emotional abuse, financial abuse, and neglect. If you feel uncomfortable about your PA, ask yourself whether or not this person is abusing you. Start by asking yourself this series of questions. What if my worker makes me feel bad and I'm not sure if it's abuse? Answer: a PA may behave in ways that do not physically endanger you, but do cause you discomfort. These unacceptable behaviors might include being rough or careless about personal hygiene or care services, criticizing, teasing, or verbally abusing you in a way that hurts your feelings, giving you the silent treatment when he is angry about something, telling you that you are just too much trouble, talking about sex in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable. You should not have to accept any of these behaviors. These behaviors might happen just once or twice when the worker's in a bad mood. The worker might not even be aware that his behavior disturbs you. And sometimes PAs, like everyone else, go through rough times in their lives and act moody and angry toward other people. That might explain, but does not excuse, disrespectful behavior. In any case, the employer can do several things to help himself. Remind the worker that mutual respect is important to your working together. Tell the worker that his behavior is disrespectful and therefore unacceptable. Tell the worker not to repeat the behavior, and advise the worker that he needs to stop the behavior if he wants to keep working for you. Question: what if the person who abuses me is a relative or friend? Answer: this can be an especially difficult situation for several reasons. You might want to protect the PA because he's family, or to avoid admitting that a family member would mistreat you. You may not have had experience with a worker other than your relative. You might depend on your relative to help make major decisions or to provide financial support. You fear being sent to a long-term care facility. If it is your home, the PA relative can be removed. Assistance is available to arrange for care and protection through Adult Protective Services, the Social Services Department, the Area Agency on Aging, or an ombudsman. Assistance can also be obtained at law enforcement agencies. Regardless of the reasons, you should not be abused by a relative. Preventing abuse. There are several common sense steps that you can take to avoid abuse. Some of them require some work on your part, but it's worth the effort. Always check references before you hire people. Even if someone has never worked as a personal assistant before, get references from previous employers. Never leave valuables lying around. Lock your jewelry, extra money, or other valuables in a safe place. If you need assistance handling money, keep the money where you can see how much the worker removes and puts back. For example, keeping your money with you is better than having it in another room or in a pack on the back of your chair. Keep track of your medicines. Keep your medicines locked up. Ask your PA to mark your calendar so you know when to reorder. Be alert. Let your worker know that you will be keeping track of medicines, mileage, and phone calls. Carefully control your checks and cash. Don't let your worker have access to your finances when you are not around. If you must write a check, give out or sign only one check. Ask for receipts. Use your credit card carefully. This is one of the easiest ways for someone to steal from you. Avoid letting a PA use your property for personal use. This includes your car or van, telephone, and home. Get your keys back when a worker quits or is fired. If he does not do so, have the locks changed immediately. Consider installing 2 locks on the door, only one of which the worker can open. That way, when leaving, you can lock the door so that your worker cannot enter. Above all, don't isolate yourself. Build a network of friends. Involve yourself in support and advocacy groups, independent living centers, senior centers, and so forth. Take advantage of educational opportunities at community colleges and adult education programs. Take advantage of job opportunities. Get involved in hobbies or sports. Maintain your community connections, friendships, and memberships in social and religious organizations. The more people in your life, the safer and happier you'll be. Don't tolerate abuse from caregivers or anyone else. Physical, emotional, financial, and sexual abuses are criminal offenses. Call a hotline or social agency, or tell someone you need help. Get out of unhealthy living situations. Consider your options. Independent living alternatives include living in your own home or apartment, community-based or assisted living arrangements, in-home services that assist the primary caregiver, and adult day programs. Become an activist. Denying people with disabilities needed services is a subtle form of abuse. You may want to become involved in helping to prevent many subtle forms of abuse, such as denial of access to community services and education, discrimination in hiring and housing, and less obvious forms of sexual or economic exploitation. No one should deny you the opportunity to take risks as you grow and maintain your independence. Be a living example. Defy stereotypes about people who have your condition or disability. Stopping abuse. You should not put up with abusive behavior. If a personal assistant or anyone else abuses you, it is time to terminate him or the relationship. Here are some ways to stop the abuse. Tell a relative, friend, counselor, case manager, or anyone else you trust. If necessary, call the police and file a report. Write down what is going on. Include dates of each incident. This is important in case you need to take legal action. Call the taking control staff and report the abuse after you have ensured your own safety. If you don't feel safe, have someone with you when you confront or fire your PA.